So now you're pretty much ready to do the next step, which is to do a calibration. And there's basically 4 calibration that need to be done with a 31 neuron setup. And the 4 calibrations are the steady pose. Then you're going to do an A pose, a T pose, and an S pose. The most important really is to start with a steady pose. So when your screen opens up, you're going to see all of them are check marked. We suggest you uncheck all 3 except
steady pose.
The steady pose.
Then you do steady pose by itself, and then you do the other 3 calibrations.
And for steady pose, it shows you to sit at a table.
I could sit down here.
You don't have to, but you can probably sit down on there. Alex is a very steady person, so sit down. Are you ready? So he didn't pass the test, 4 failed the test. That means he moved on 4 of them. 1 in his head, 1 in his arm, and a couple on his hands. And that's the error message you would get. So that's easy. What we'll just do is it'll ask us to retry. So again, be calm, and we'll do a retry. Yeah, everything passed this time, so he's all good. So now we can go to the next step, which is to do
the actual calibration. It's very important that you make sure that on steady pose, all your neurons pass. You don't want to proceed to your A, T, and S poses until all your gyroscopes are properly calibrated.
So now let's talk about the A, the T, and the S pose, which are very, very important. Calibration is
key to your motion capture. It's absolutely essential.
And using a second person for this is also important because we've realized that even, we've been doing it for a long time. It's kind of important to have a second person to look at you because sometimes you think you're doing something right, but unless somebody else is looking at you, when you think your arm is straight, it's sometimes not straight. So in the A pose, you want to be standing up straight.
Feet are parallel, facing forward.
Shoulder width apart.
Yeah. And your arms straight down. Just make sure it's key to have that second person because you want to make sure that your arms are straight. Many times we think that we're straight and we're just slightly forward and we want to be just slightly backwards and we don't notice those things when we are by ourselves.
And put your arms straight down, like that. So you see how his body, his arms are straight in line all the way down. Everything is straight down, and his feet need to be shoulder width apart. And it's important that whatever position your feet are and your head is in stays the same through all three poses. So that's your A pose. Arms straight down, relax. You don't have to keep a stiff body, just straight down. Don't go backwards like that. Don't go forwards with your arms like that. Straight down. Okay, that's A pose. Now, let's show them T pose. Now, what's really important with this one is that your arms are straight out from your body. Okay, that's very important. And the hand positioning is very important because this is key to good hand motion capture. Sometimes your fingers can be overflexed, which I have a tendency to do that, which is really bad.
Or they can be too
relaxed. So having your hand straight out is very important. With your thumb, it's very important to have this 35, almost 45 degree angle out and then slightly down this way. So it's 35, 45 almost this way and then 30 degrees down this way. Okay, that's why it's good to have a second person look at the exact position. Mm-hmm. Also, people tend to have their hands either too high up or too low down. So a second person looking at you or looking in the mirror is actually quite helpful. And then finally, the S pose. Now the S pose, a lot of people have a hard time with it because they try to make it much more complicated than it is. Arms straight out, hands straight out, arms parallel to the floor. Your feet should have not moved again from the A position. You should have not moved. Your head should still be in the same position. Simple as that. Don't try to overflex. Don't try to put your hands too high up. Don't try to put your hands too low down. And those are really key in order to get the best motion capture. Get these positioned right and you will get really good calibration and really good motion capture afterwards. Okay, so are you ready? Let's go. And Ready? A pose. Arms straight down. Perfect. T pose. Look at the thumbs. Straight out, everything. And S pose. And he should be calibrated. And look at that. And of course, you'll see here on the side too, something that some people might have missed is there's some default models for different height. And these are heights, of course, in centimeters. I think Alex is
170.
170
Yes.
centimeters.
All these things are essential for you to get great motion capture. The calibration is key. Getting the steady pose accurate. You want to make sure that it's positioned correctly, that you pass all your neurons on the gyroscope. You want to make sure when you do your A, T, and S poses that you're calibrated correctly, that you're not fidgeting, that you're not moving around. Because sometimes you will get errors and you will think that it's something that's wrong with the system itself, but it's just that you need to be calibrated properly. It's going to give you great motion capture, great movement, and I mean, it's just awesome to see once you do it properly.
Another thing too is always, you can always zero, which is right where it says 0, takes you back to home base basically, and kind of resets everything. And that will clean everything up in case you've reached, accumulated a little bit
Of drift, yeah.
of drift or anything like that. And that's it. So let's go do some MOCAP. All we have to do is click the record button and click OK and start dancing.